Hey, Jeremy, first of all, thanks for joining me. Congrats on a great season on the ice and off the ice.
Yeah, thank you very much. Happy to be here.
So, you're going to be speaking at student commencement. How did that all come about?
Yeah, so the campus holds a campus-wide competition for becoming commencement speaker. 3 rounds. The first round, you explain what it means to you to be commencement speaker. The second round, you write your speech, and the third round, you deliver that speech. And so made it through all 3 rounds. Just putting the final touches on the final speech
Yeah.
here. But I'm really excited to be up there and to give some words to just a great group, a great class of 2025.
Yeah, this will be much tougher than playing hockey, right?
Perhaps, I've been playing hockey since I was 3 years old. I haven't been
Yeah.
giving speeches since that time.
I'm a baseball guy. That's where I come from, but I love hockey. I think it's the best sport live. I don't think TV does it justice, but it just seems like all hockey players that you guys start really, really young, right? All of you?
Yeah, yeah. My dad, I have some half siblings that played hockey before me. So I was 2 or 3 years old, getting on the ice, learning how to skate backwards before forwards, which turned out pretty well as a defenseman. So
Yeah.
but yeah, no, everybody does, and it's almost the kids that start at even the young age of like 8 or 9 years old, like those extra couple of years are just really, really helpful for the kids that do start before they maybe know that they're playing hockey at all. So
How did you kind of know that you had a chance to play in college?
yeah, I was really blessed. I've had a lot of coaches that have invested in me throughout my years. Um, so I think that just trusting the process of going through hockey as a juniors process in between high school and college. So I played 2 years between high school and college, and I
Okay.
think that just getting a coach that really believed in me in both of those years, 1 year in Buffalo and 1 year in Utica, New York. Um, Both having a coach in those two spots that believed in me really allowed me to flourish, to develop my game. Really, it was all about confidence, and having
Yeah.
confidence really helped me. And I reached out to a bunch of schools, Framingham being one of them. Coach Bailey gave me a great opportunity to come here, and I took it and made the most of it since.
That process to me, I'm fascinated by. So when you guys, I mean, you're almost sending a resume, so to speak, right? So you just basically, are you looking at certain divisions or certain areas of the country, and you're just feeding a bunch of people?
Sure. We have a software that breaks down your games and will give you kind of your shift by shift throughout juniors, throughout youth hockey, actually. And so I put together a highlight reel of
Yeah.
those shifts, and I attached it to an email saying, here are my high school grades. Here's where I'm from. This is what I can do for you. I can
Yeah.
I can bring this kind of presence to your team. And so I reached out. I definitely liked the idea of being, close to home, being from New York. There are some teams from, all across the country. I have lived in Minnesota and played hockey there as part of my process, but the ability to be close to home, to be right down one street all the way
Yeah.
back home is really great. And so I was glad that, Framingham is the school that I ended up at.
It's funny. I've been to Utica. I worked there for a year, so I know.
Okay.
I wonder if that's the same building that.
The Adirondack Bank Center.
Yeah,
That's
the same one.
yeah,
Yep.
it's the home rink of the American Hockey League, the second tier of professional hockey, plays there, as well as they have a professional indoor soccer team, which that was the first time that I had ever heard of that. But they put turf down on the ice and play soccer.
Wow, in that building they did?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They still are. It's great.
Whatever works. Coach Bailey is terrific. I love interacting with him. He just seems like he's pretty easygoing and good with you guys.
Yeah, he is. He's a great, really hardworking guy. He just instills in us his famous quote is just 2 words of work hard. And so, we're up in the morning. We practice before school starts from Thanksgiving to the end of the year,
Hmm.
and just getting up and seeing his commitment to us, and even before going to work for the entire day.
Yeah.
He a great guy, and he really invested in us, and it gave me this opportunity to come to Framingham and be as successful as I have been. But it's all from that call where he recruited me. That's where
That's
it all started.
it's fantastic. Is you adjust to that schedule? I mean, obviously, just going to school is hard enough, but I would wonder, is it probably better to get that practice before your
Yeah.
classes?
So I'm a big fan personally of it. I know some guys struggle with the early wake up, and there's definitely some days that everybody does. But in the fall or the first half of the fall, we're at around 4 o'clock, and that can be a little difficult.
Yeah,
But
wow.
in the morning, it's great because you get that whole afternoon to, focus on your academics. And
Yeah.
it's time that you're not really spending doing anything else. So you go to bed a little bit earlier, wake up a little bit earlier, and start your day off with 30 of your best friends.
Yeah, I subscribe to I'm a big early morning person, workout, even if just having time, but I find it better that clock before than after and staying up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that what you just said there about being best friends and at the banquet the other night, the awards banquet, you can get a real feel for how all of you are together as athletes. I was kind of taken back at how it's all of you guys are pretty close. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's great. I think that teams are supporting teams around campus. You'll find us at volleyball games,
Yeah,
at other games around campus, as a team for the most part. And so I think that's really valuable. I also found when I first came into school, that we had a table in the dining hall that was you could always find somebody there.
yeah.
And so to have these 30 built-in best friends that you spend at least some hours of every day with, is really helpful, especially in that transition to college when you first come in.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a lot older than you, so you're gonna learn this, and I
Yeah.
mean this in a good way. Balancing these two things, like when you get into the real world, for a lot of you, it's gonna be like, well, I'm just working a normal job now, like, or whatever you get into, I think is gonna end up being a lot easier after doing, because I think it's incredible. I could never do two things like that. Playing sports because it's full time. It's not just you see the games, but
Yeah.
mentally, physically, it's a lot for you guys.
Yeah, I've estimated it somewhere around like 30 hours a week,
Wow.
between like, you know, the the kind of hidden hours, the travel, the times that you're there before to warm up and get yourself ready for practices. But I had a mentor of mine tell me that, speaking of, so I'm going to law school in my next stage after I graduate from here. And he was talking about he was a hockey player himself, and the role of that competitiveness, taking that to kind of future workplaces and
Yeah.
to academic settings. Your entire life, he said, you've been competing for, athletics, and the same thing to some degree in the classroom. Collaboration is, of course, important, but being able to just put your head down and outwork, is a really important aspect that you pick up from athletics.
Framingham State's giving you great tools to succeed on the ice and off. Law school, that is really cool.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm happy. I'm returning back to my hometown, back to the University at Buffalo. So I had great connections to that university. I ran the track in the summers,
Nice.
in a football stadium. My partner went there and continues to go there for her academic studies. So I'm excited to be a member of that community, and it's really all thanks to Framingham State and the abilities that it has gifted upon me and the opportunities it has. Our small size really opens up those opportunities for us. For me, a student from 7 hours away from a different
Mm.
state, and I've gotten some amazing opportunities to serve on the board of trustees, to be part of the Student Government Association, to be in university governance. So I think that's a real strength of our university.
Would you be a sports agent someday? Yeah, I know you have to have a law degree to do that.
Yeah, yeah, perhaps sports law was definitely one of the kind of ideas that I had for law so that I could continue to be connected to athletics. I'm really interested in labor and employment law. I spent a summer interning with the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, remedying workplace discrimination. So I really enjoyed
Nice.
that experience, and perhaps continue to return to that sphere. But we'll see where things take me.
Okay, and finally, how about the Boston sports fan? Do you have an opinion on them? We are a little neurotic. I
Sure.
grew up here, so yeah,
I still have my connections to back home in Western New York.
yeah,
Football side, the Bills and the Patriots are in the same division, so
yep,
be a little sacrilegious to switch that affiliation. But I do note that whenever there's one bad Boston team, there's an amazing Boston team.
yeah.
So there's always something great going on in the sports world here in Boston, and there's great energy around it.
Thanks for the time. You'll kill it in your speech. I know you will. You'll be well prepared and look forward to it.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.